All right, guys. So, am I audible now? Are you able to see my screen? So, so yesterday, what we have done is we have stopped at. We have stopped at the practicing the CDH, right? So what we have done is I told you that we have a separate cloud version. I'm going to ping this in the chat. So just check the chat. I pinged it in the chat. So what you have to do is go to this URL, create an account. Okay, create an account, log into that. Then when you scroll down, you will be getting an option that is called Launch Pega. So that's what you have to do. So you have to come here, scroll down, Launch Pega. So then you click on this Launch Pega. So when you click on Launch Pega, after 2 minutes, you will get the server ready. Okay, the server will get ready. So then you have to click on this button, Pega Infinity. Okay, so this is the access to the CDH portal. CDH stands for Customer Decision Hub. So you have to come here, click on the launch button, then come to here, click on Pega Infinity, and then you have to log in. So where is the login ID password? So here itself, they have given you the login ID and password. So this is the login ID and password. Okay. Decisioning architect, password is rules. Just give the decisioning architect and the password is rules. Okay, if you want, I am pasting it in the chat also. So just save it somewhere, bookmark it somewhere. Decisioning architect, password is rules. Okay. So then what you have to do is just click on the login button. So now this is going to take you to the customer decision hub portal. So now we are logged into the customer decision hub portal. So this is actually the customer decision hub portal. And so we'll go through all this navigation. What is this navigation? Okay. So this is how you access. I hope it is
Ravi,
clear, right,
one
for
question
everyone?
here.
Yes.
Yeah, Ravi, one question. Okay. So in Pega, we use App Studio or Dev Studio both. Okay. Or developer portal, correct?
Correct.
Like CRM. And now this for this CDH, they have given one new portal. Okay.
Mm.
So all development will be done from this portal, or we will use Dev Studio also.
We will use Dev Studio also. That's the reason I told
Okay.
like yesterday, you should have Pega basic knowledge. Everyone should have that. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
60 to 70% work will be in CDH. Remaining
Mm-hmm.
30% work is going to be Dev Studio. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Good. Yeah.
Yeah. So in CDH, we do both Pega decisioning and Pega marketing. But to support this decisioning and marketing, we need to build some data transforms, activities, services like that in order to support this implementation. So for that purpose, definitely everyone should have Pega CSA level knowledge. Okay, so this is how you access the Pega CDH portal, Customer Decision Hub. So everyone is clear, right? How to access, and I hope that it's clear for everyone how to
Where is
access.
the link actually? Where is the link
I
basically?
pasted in the chat. So I pasted in the chat. I gave the login ID password also.
This one?
Yeah. So just bookmark this URL, log in this URL, then click on the launch button. Okay. It will take 2 to 5 minutes, not more than that. And then you will get this screen. Then you have to click on Pega Infinity. That's what you have to do. Okay. So we will go through all these options and navigations as we go through the course. So now, before we start creating the application, before we start creating the Pega decisioning application, what we have to do to make sure the application or the environment is ready. See, even in Pega development also, Whenever you are going to start any Pega development, you will set up the environment, right? You will make sure the environment is ready and everything is working fine. So for Pega decisioning also, you have to set up the environment before you start the implementation. Let us understand what all we need to do in order to do that. Okay. So just a minute. Okay, fine. So uh, below are the CDH services. So that means in order for proper functioning of your decisioning implementation, there are certain services that should be enabled and running normally in your environment. So what are those services? That's what we are going to see. So the first one is ADM. ADM stands for Adaptive Decision Manager. So what is the purpose of ADM? Adaptive Decision Manager service is used to you use it for proper functioning of your adaptive models and predictive models. So yesterday session I told you we have adaptive models and predictive models which are used for understanding and analyzing the customer's interactions. The main purpose of them is they will provide you which offers are most suitable for a given customer. Now, for those models to work properly without any issues, this particular service is most important. That is called Adaptive Decision Manager. So, this service, what it will do is it will provide the inputs to the model. For example, some customer has, let us say, some customer has got the laptop. So the customer accepted the laptop and he said that he is interested to buy the laptop. Okay, you promoted the laptop, then the customer accepted it. So as soon as the customer accepted it, it's going to store into the interaction history. So from the interaction history, this service will give the input to the model. That is the purpose of this model, this service. Okay, ADM service responsibility is on a regular basis, whatever data is there in interaction history, that data will be fed into adaptive models and predictive models. So this service will ensure that is happening. Okay, this service will ensure that is happening to provide the inputs from interaction history to the models. So this service is very important for the models to work. Second service is called DDS. DDS stands for Decision Data Store. So what is the purpose of decision data storage? In Pega decisioning, we use Cassandra database. So the Cassandra database is used for two purposes. One is scalability, second is availability. Why we need to use Cassandra means Cassandra database is known for it will never crash mostly, and the database will not go down, or you don't find any database issues even with millions of customers. See, in traditional we use Oracle database, PostgreSQL database, right? Sometimes when you are trying to retrieve more than 10 columns, more than 20 columns, database will take some time, okay, or database will get crashed. But with Cassandra database, that will not happen. The database, even with 10 customers, 20 customers also, it will be fast. And even with 10 million customers, 20 million customers also, it will still be fast. So how it is going to do that, we'll see in the coming sessions. So this
So we
service
have,
is, yes.
yeah, we have two questions. Okay. First is,
Yeah.
okay, ADM and DDS, so they are kind of some service or what is it? Like stream service is in like Kafka implementation. Okay. So
It's just
DDS,
like,
ADS, they're kind
yeah,
of nodes.
it's just like a background processing service is there, right? So it's like a
Mm-hmm.
service only. So it's like a service. See, for agents to run, you should have background processing enabled, right? You're aware of that,
Correct.
right?
Yes. Yes.
Same
Yes.
way
Yes.
for CDH, these are the things. Okay, for
Okay.
Pega, this is the thing, and for CDH, these are the things. Okay,
And one more question will be this Cassandra database. It's an internal database, or Pega is externalizing. This is a message service, or
both
like it's the same as.
both both options are given.
Okay.
So Pega has given both options to configure internal Cassandra or external Cassandra. Okay, yeah, we'll
Okay.
come to
You'll
see
provide
come
some
to that.
details on this, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Thanks, sir. Yeah.
yes, yeah. Okay,
Ravi,
so
so you're saying it's external and internal. So is it cloud-based or is it database?
external will be your wish. Internal will be cloud based.
Internal cloud-based. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So that is this two services, adaptive decision manager, which is responsible for models to work. Mainly it will give input from the interaction history to the models. The second one is decision data store. So with decision data store only, you can access the Cassandra database. For example, you want to insert something into Cassandra database. You want to retrieve something from the Cassandra database. You want to delete something that is there in the Cassandra database. So decision data store is very important. Okay, by using this DDS only, Cassandra database will be enabled. Without this, you cannot access the Cassandra database. Okay, so this DDS is mainly for Cassandra database access only. Other than that, it will not serve any other purpose. Okay, DDS is always mapped to Cassandra database. So then second one, third one is stream, which is for real-time operations. Like if you are using any queue processors, job schedulers, any real-time thing. So these three are for that purpose. Okay, we have real-time data flows. For that purpose, we use it. Background processing, you already know. For agents, job schedulers, for all these things, we need background processing. Okay, so these are the 6 major services that we have to enable: ADM, DDS, stream, RTDG, real-time background processing. Okay,
Ravi, we can't hear you.
Ravi, are you speaking something?
am I audible now?
Yeah, you are now. Yeah.
Yes, Ravi.
Okay. Okay, so what I was saying, a node is nothing but a server where Pega PRPC is installed. The same PRPC instance we can segregate into multiple nodes. Okay, in order to achieve load balancing. Okay, load balancing means, for example, 10,000 users are using the same server, it can impact the server performance. So some users can be distributed into other nodes. That is called a node. Okay, a node is nothing but a server. Okay, you can have multiple servers connected together in the form of cluster. Okay, the more the number of servers, the faster your Pega application will be. Okay, so the performance will be very good if you have more servers. All these servers will be present in a single group, which is called cluster. Okay, just an introduction. Okay, now I was telling you about this 6 services which we have to enable: ADM, DDS, stream, RTDG, real-time background processing. How to enable these services? So let us see that. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to go to the application here. So what I did, I just went to the CDH here. So when you go to the CDH, just go to the left side, intelligence prediction studio. Okay, so from the customer decision hub how to access dev studio, you have to go to the intelligence, click on prediction studio. That's what you have to do. So from prediction studio you can switch to the dev studio. Okay, so just remember this navigation what we are doing. Okay, by default you will get CDH. From there you have to go to dev studio like this. So then go to the
Can
admin
you
studio.
come once again, one more time to show this?
Okay, okay, see, as soon as I launch Pega, I click on this button. When I click on the button, I will go to CDH, Customer Decision
Okay.
Hub. From CDH, go to the left side, Intelligence, Prediction Studio.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Got it.
Then you can switch to Dev Studio. Okay. Yeah. So just come here, switch to the Dev Studio. Okay. Then you can switch to the Admin Studio also. Now, what you have to do is, this is where you see the nodes. When you click on this button, this is where you see the nodes, how many nodes are there in the application. So right now there is only one node, but if so many people are using the application at the same time, then it is recommended to have multiple nodes. I think right now 7 users are there. Maybe I think some of you are also might be using this, right? So there's 7 people, so only 7 people are accessing this particular node. So this is where you see the node type. So the node type is set to search, web user, Bix, all these things. You see already they have configured this CDH service, ADM, right? RTDG, same thing which I am showing you in this PPT. You see this? ADM, RTDG, DDS. So you see here all this is there. Okay, ADM, RTDG, I don't know, DDS they did not keep. Maybe we need to check why it is not there. Okay, but ADM is there, RTDG, real time, batch, background processing, search, web user, all this is there. So you have to verify like this whether the CDH service is running or not. Okay, this is mandatory. So this service is mandatory for our CDH implementation. Without this we will get errors, we will get exception while working. Okay, so how do we set this, how do we set this value? So what you have to do is you have to go to this path. I think most of you already have Pega personalization in your system, right? I think most of you might already have it. What you do is go to this, you try this as exercise today. Go to the Pega directory where you install. You will see one folder called Tomcat. In the Tomcat folder, you'll see one bin folder. Okay. Then you will find this settnb.bat. Let me see if I have it or not. I'll just check it. Okay. We'll just see this in my system. So, anyways, I'll share the PPT also how to set the value. Okay. So I have it. No. Mhm. I think I did not install the recent version also. Okay. Fine. Just you try it in your system. Okay, what you do is just try it in your system. So what I am saying is we have to set this service to the node using these steps which I am showing you. Okay, go to the Pega directory. In that, go to the Tomcat folder. In the Tomcat folder, go to the bin folder. In the bin folder there is a file called setenv.bat. Open this file with a notepad. You will see a particular line like this: D node type, like this. You will see one line. You will see some value like stream, background processing, like that. You will see. What you do is just append your services to this. You say just comma search, comma stream, comma ADM, comma DDS, comma RTDG. Just you set comma separated values. Okay, you set comma separated values. You save the file and you restart the server. Okay, got it? Is it clear or not? So just if you want, you can take this screenshot from your system. Okay, if you want to remember, just go to this path, open this file, set these values. ADM, comma DDS, comma RTDG. You set it equal to denote type. Then you save the file, stop the server, and start the server again. Once you start the server, then you should be able to see your services that you added comma separated values here. Like this, you will see. Before, it will not be there. In your personal edition, definitely before, it will not be there. After you add it, then you go to the admin studio and you go to the nodes, then you will see here. Okay,
Ravi,
that is how. Yes.
one thing,
Yes.
when you say, if you go back to that PPT,
Hmm.
the slide which you mentioned, once you open that notepad, right,
Yeah.
and then you copy this entire thing, or in the
Just
notepad,
you
the
add it. Don't copy. Just add
uh,
one by one. Comma ADM, comma DDS. There will
after
be
the
some
background
services
processing.
already. There will
Okay,
be
okay.
no need to add like before,
Uh,
after this only. You can add at the end also. Okay. There will be
Is it
some
possible?
values will.
sorry,
Can you show me one?
yeah.
Is it possible?
So that's what I checked it. I don't have Pega personal edition, but you can try
Uh,
it. Okay. I don't have
So
it right now.
you want us to open this set n bat file?
Correct. Correct. Open this. Keep it in same like how I showed you. Don't keep small letters like that. Okay. Don't keep small letters like that. Okay. Just keep like this and you save it and restart the server. That's it. Okay. Just try this as exercise. Let me know like if you get errors or something. Definitely you don't get any error. Just you add it and you restart. Then you go to admin studio. Then you will see this. Okay. Okay, just try this. Let me know your results tomorrow. We'll look into that. Okay, so that is how you set the denote type. Now there are two options are there for you. For example, sometimes you might be missing some service. Okay, I told you 6 services. Something you might miss or something might not even be known to us. For that, Pega has given you an option. Simply, what you do is just you set denote type equal to universal. Okay, here I showed you right this option. What you do here, this line will be there. You say dot hyphen denote type equal to universal. No need to add anything. Just you say universal. Then every single Pega service will be running on that particular node. Whatever you are, whatever you know, whatever you don't know, everything will run. Okay, everything will run on that. Universal means all services enabled. Manual means you are adding one by one whichever you want. Okay.
Ravi, one
See,
question.
because yes.
Yeah, the Pega installation directory and the Tomcat,
Mm,
right? You are showing
right.
in the cloud environment, but do I need to look in the personal C drive or is it in cloud environment? Where I
Wherever
have
you
to look?
install, I don't know where you installed. Maybe you install in C drive only.
The in personal edition, right?
Right, personal edition only. I'm telling.
Okay, but
Yeah. Okay.
you are showing in the Pega Academy, right?
No, that you ignore. I am just
Okay,
telling how you will do. Pega Academy,
okay.
we don't have access. That is managed by Pega Systems. We don't have
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
access for that.
Ravi, in bin, right, I don't see like a set env dot bat is not there with that extension. Only env is there. I'm not able to
That is
open that.
BAT file. It will not show BAT. It will just
Yeah,
show till
that's
set
fine.
env only.
But I don't
You
have any
double click on
options.
that. No, you
No,
double
it's
click
not
on that.
getting, even
Uh,
I try, it is not getting open. I tried
you do
multiple
one thing.
times.
open Notepad directly, then you go to this path where set env is there, then you open that. Don't go here directly, you go open Notepad and you navigate till here. Okay, you try that way. Definitely this will be opened with Notepad also.
Okay, I have
Okay,
one
just try
question.
that way. Yes.
See, you are telling, right, whatever the service environment bad, right? So even though we
Hmm.
cannot do from local machine, right? Local host, we cannot do a practice for CDH, right? So just for knowledge
We
purpose, you are
can
telling, or
no, we can do CDH decisioning. I told you no yesterday.
hmm?
Entire decisioning you can do in personal edition. Only
Okay,
marketing you cannot do. Okay.
okay.
Yeah. So in cloud we don't have access, but there
Yeah,
also they will be doing like this only.
but the
Okay.
real time
In the back.
it will be all set, right? This one local purpose.
Real time administrators will do. Okay, you don't need to do. But you
Okay,
might need to guide them. You might need to guide them. You say you add this like that, they will do it. Okay.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. So this is one way of verifying. Second, what you have to do is go to the Dev Studio, then go to the configure, decisioning, infrastructure, services. Okay, go to the decisioning, infrastructure, services. Okay, first way is you go to the admin studio, you see whether ADM DDS is coming or not in the node type. If it is coming, fine. First step is correct. Second step is you go to configure decisioning infrastructure. Here also you should see the status as normal. Okay, DDS is directly mapped to Cassandra database. So it should come as normal if you want to use Cassandra. Then ADM, here also it is normal. Data flows. Then in data flow, you have to check one by one, select one by one, then see whether status is normal or not. Okay, so just open one by one and you see status is normal or not. Same way, all the others also. Every single tab should have status as normal. Otherwise, the corresponding features which is using this service will get affected. Okay, DDS will affect Cassandra database. If it is not normal, Cassandra will not work. That means you cannot insert, you cannot retrieve, you cannot delete anything from Cassandra. Then ADM, if it is not normal, your adaptive model, predictive model will not work. Then data flows. So then data flows will not work if anything is not normal. Real-time data grid and stream is used for your Kafka queue processors, Kafka real-time data flow. For that purpose it is used. They will not work. So whenever status is not normal, then what you have to do? Your responsibility. Sometimes it will not be normal. You have to ask as a first step to restart the server. That is the initial check. First step to restart the server. Whenever you restart the server, it will try to again check the configuration, node type, then try to assign this service to this particular server. Okay, see what we are doing is nothing but we are just assigning a service to the node. Okay, so if you just click on this, right, you will come to know what is the node details. Node details means what is the server configuration. All these things will be there. What we are doing here is we are telling you run this service on this particular node. So when you restart, sometimes the issue will be fixed, or you can contact the corresponding team. For example, you can contact the Cassandra team to see why this DDS is not working. Is there any issue with the Cassandra database like that? Okay, so like that you have to see. You can also check the logs. Any error is coming, why this is not becoming normal, any error is coming in the logs, that way you have to debug and you have to see what is happening. Okay, but the first step to debug and try to fix is asking for a restart, server restart. Okay, all clear for everyone? So this is actually the first and foremost environment preparation that you have to do when your application is installed or when your framework is installed. So you have to go to the application, then you have to go to the definition to check whether Pega marketing framework is installed or not. That also you have to verify. So generally this is the job of administrator, but the administrator sometimes he will not do correctly, right? He will say that it is installed but it's not installed. That can also be possible. So your job is to validate. Okay, so your job is to validate whether it is installed, latest version is there or not here. Okay, you go to the application definition, Pega marketing FW, this is the name of the framework. It should have the latest version. That's what you have to do. Okay, so this is the thing, and then you have to verify all the services are having status as normal or not. Every single tab should have status as normal. So these are the two checks that you have to do. Okay, any questions till here?
Ravi, apart from the status normal, what could be the other
Hmm.
value?
So it can be like failed, it can be like joining. Okay, failed means not even running, it's not even running. It can be joining. Joining means in progress, not yet connected, the service is not yet running, but it is trying to connect. Okay, the service is trying to connect to the node. So you can wait for some time. If it is joining means you can wait for some time to let it connect. But failed means it's not connected directly, it is not working. So which is a immediate alert for you. If it is failed means immediate alert for you to ask for a restart or to ask the administrator what is the issue. That's what you have to do. Okay, okay, so in real time it is recommended to have more than
Hi,
3
Ravi.
nodes. Yes,
Ravi, this is the screen you're showing. Dev portal is navigated through the PDN, right?
yes, yes, I went to CDH, from CDH we came here.
But for us, how can we uh, launch this?
I showed you, right? You come here
We have to
in
go to
when you
directly to personal edition or through the
no,
PDN?
no, you see, you directly go to the Dev Studio. For decisioning, you don't need to worry about CDH. Everything is there in Dev Studio. Okay. In Persolation, directly you will open Dev Studio, right?
Correct. Yeah.
See, it's up to you. All of you, it's up to you. Whether you want to practice in cloud or whether you want to practice in Persolation. But the option is only to practice Pega decisioning, not Pega marketing. Pega marketing, you have to practice here only.
But still,
Okay.
on personal edition also, we need to enable all these services, right?
Yeah, you have to do. You have to do. For CDH, we have this. We need this. This is mandatory. That's why I told you this configuration, how to do the configuration here. You follow the
Ravi,
steps. Yes.
yeah, Ravi, you showed us, you are asking us to do the modifications in personal edition, and you
Yes,
have
because there
shown
is no
us the,
admin, right?
yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
and you're showing in a cloud version on the screen, right? But
Right, right.
when we do our changes in personal edition in the local library, how
Hmm.
where can we see these changes? Okay, like normal data, destination data
See,
store,
same thing, right?
adapted.
Dev Studio is same in both here and there.
Yes.
Where I'm you showing you, same where same place it will be there. Go to your
Mm-hmm.
application, configure decisioning infrastructure. I showed told you know this called
Okay.
navigation.
Okay.
This is where you have to go.
Yeah.
So I
To
told you two ways. One way
mm-hmm.
you set it comma separated values,
Mm-hmm.
comma ADM, comma DDS like this, or you remove the entire thing. You say denote type equal to universal. That's it. Over.
Mm-hmm.
You don't
Okay.
need to worry again. Everything will be running. If you keep universal, everything will run. Okay.
Okay.
So like that also you can do. Do this thing. Restart the server. Come to the Dev Studio and check whether it is normal or not.
Okay.
Okay. So this all part which we are going to see is common for personalization and cloud. Same navigation everywhere.
Ravi,
Okay.
in this case,
Hmm.
yes, Ravi, in this case, I mean, it means that we are having a Cassandra already in our personal edition,
Correct,
as
correct.
like we are having
Cassandra,
Postgres, right?
correct. Cassandra is there for
Okay,
personal edition also. Yes.
okay, fine.
If you enable internal Cassandra will start when you enable this. Okay. You can
Uh,
also see the Cassandra configuration here itself. I click on edit settings, then I can see the Cassandra configuration. You see, this is the Cassandra configuration. Okay. Cassandra port, Cassandra user ID, Cassandra password, everything will be there. So this is coming in cloud, but in your personalization, this will be unselected. Okay. It means internal Cassandra. When you select this option, it's going to be external Cassandra, which I think it is there in the Pega side. It is at Pega side, it is maintained. But for you, this will be not selected. Okay. As soon as you enable decision data store, internal Cassandra will start. Okay. Internal Cassandra database will be connected for you. The database details will be displayed to you here, which you can use it. Okay. When
and
you
if
want to
I select,
when you want to switch to the external, you have to select this option. When you want to use internal, you have to unselect this option. That's it. Yes.
so external Cassandra will be running on somewhere in the cloud, those credential has to put here, and then it will be connecting with you.
Correct. That you have to get it from Cassandra team, or you have to figure out
Okay,
how to
okay,
get the
okay.
host and all that.
Thank you, thank
Okay. But
How to get to
if you
the
don't
screen?
want to
Sorry,
use
I missed that part.
which one,
Sorry, Ravi. The screen, the
I
added
I
decision one.
I clicked on
Oh,
edit
I
settings
did.
here.
Okay, sorry, I
Yes.
missed that bit. Yeah, thanks.
So decision data store is directly connected to Cassandra. This decision data store purpose is only to use Cassandra, nothing else. Only for Cassandra database purpose it is used. Okay. Either it is internal or external, that is your wish based on your selection here.
And Ravi, one
Okay.
more thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ravi. So the application name is here is CDH, right? For example,
Right.
if I open that the bat file, right? Add
Hmm.
this all services, and then check in my node.
That is not dependent, right? It service application will be Pega platform for you.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
right. Yeah, in
Hmm.
personal edition. So
Hmm.
once I open that any application, for example, my existing application, if I open that one, go to the config and go to the decision, can I see this all
Hmm.
option again? These all?
Yes, yes, yes. It is not dependent on application.
Okay,
There
it's not
can be
dependent on application.
there can be 100 applications in the server. Every
Oh,
application will
okay.
have this normal only. Okay.
Normal.
Because
Okay.
this is connected to the node, not to the application.
Not to the
Okay.
application. Okay.
So these services we have enabled on the node. So in this
Okay.
node, how many applications you create, everything will be normal only. Okay.
Okay.
You see the node IP address also they have given. That means your server IP address. It is connected to the server IP address. So in this
Okay.
server, you can have multiple applications. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, thanks.
Fine. So this is configuration.
Ravi, in cloud decisioning and marketing, both rules are we can practice all the rules.
Yes. 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 Both you can practice. Okay.
Ravi, the
Like I
background noise.
told, yeah, not mine. I think whoever unmuted, right? You can mute if your question is done. You can mute yourself. Yeah. Okay. So the only disadvantage which we have is you should take a backup every day when you are logging off. So I'll show you how to take backup. Once your practice is done, I'll show you how to do that. Okay. But in personal action, you don't need to take backup. Everything is fine for you. No, that's the thing. Fine. Now coming to the Cassandra database. What is Cassandra database? Why we are talking about Cassandra database? So comparatively in your Pega application, you might be using Oracle, or you might be using your PostgreSQL, right? But in Pega decisioning, Cassandra is most recommended database. But why? For two purposes. First reason is scalability. Second reason is availability. See, in your Pega application, right, you might not communicate with your customer, or you might not have the customer data with you, right? So why do you need customer data? So most of the time you don't need customer data. You can manage with sample data or fake data also. But here it is not like that. You have to communicate with the customer. You are directly dealing with the customer. So scalability here is, even with 10 customers, 20 customers, database will be having good performance. Even it is increased to 10 million, 20 million also, the database performance will be same. It will not become slow, or it will not be accessible, or it will not get crashed. That is the major advantage of having Cassandra database. So how it will do means, it will require multiple nodes to be managed. Okay, with a single node it is not possible again. Cassandra should have minimum 3 nodes. That means minimum 3 servers are needed for Cassandra. If you are having more than 3 or 3, then only you use Cassandra. Then it will index and it will distribute the same data on multiple nodes. So whenever one node is not working also, from the second node or third node, it will take the data and it will give you faster. Okay, so that's how it will achieve scalability and availability also. The database is configured in such a way, 99.9% it will not get crash. Okay, 99.9% will not get crash, and it is used to deal with critical failures also. Data will not be gone. Data will always be available for you. Okay, since customer data is very very important for you, right? If you are losing customer data, then that is very difficult to get. Okay, for example, you have 1 million, 10 million customers you are having, but due to some database issues, the backup is not there and data is gone, means it is very huge impact for your business. There will be a lot of revenue loss. How will you get again the customer data? So even though most of the businesses will have the database in some other systems and all that, still when you are manipulating with them, it is important to use Cassandra database. Okay, because two reasons: scalability, availability. Because of that we use this. The database will never give you poor performance. It will give you within seconds when you are trying to access millions of customers also. Okay, and the database will never go down, at least most of the time. Okay, unless there is a manual maintenance, it will not go down. So that's why Pega is recommending Cassandra database, but it is optional. Without Cassandra also you can use, but it is a recommendation from Pega to use Cassandra for for decisioning applications. So we have internal Cassandra, we have external Cassandra. So like I showed you, right? You have to go here, then you go to the edit settings, then you can see the Cassandra details. If you unselect this option, then internal Cassandra will run. If you select this option, you have to give your Cassandra host name to connect to the external Cassandra. So it's up to you whether you want to use internal Cassandra or external Cassandra. Okay.
And
Yeah.
one more thing,
So
Ravi, this Cassandra database only for the for the customer, not for any other
for
things.
correct, for customer purpose we use it.
Just a customer
Okay.
survey.
Yes.
For example,
See,
if the company,
like someone asked the question right on yesterday, how we get the customer data to Pega decisioning application. So using import jobs. So import jobs will run daily, like ETL jobs from customer service portal. We get the customer data. So from there to here, first you will load into the Cassandra, then to your traditional database you will load. Okay, so the import jobs will directly load the data into Cassandra database. That is the DDS. Okay.
okay,
Yeah.
suppose there is a company who is using the or they're using Pega other framework, right?
Hmm.
And their database is on Oracle, and then later on they're planning to go for this CDH
Hmm.
application as well. So in that case, they have to replace that one, or they can add this
No,
Cassandra on
they
top of
can
them.
continue. See, just here also we use both of
Uh-huh.
them. We use both of them, both Cassandra and PostgreSQL. Both we use.
Both
Okay.
we can use.
Yes,
Okay.
because customer data, customer decisions, we store
Yeah.
it in Cassandra database. Remaining all the
Okay.
data will be there, right? Like product data or
Yeah.
some internal tables you will create in Pega. All those they will go to PostgreSQL database.
Okay.
Okay. So two
Only for the
databases we
customer.
use. Correct.
Oh,
Customer
okay.
data and customer decisions. So customer
Okay.
decisions means what? Customer decisions means the interaction history data. That will also be
So,
stored here.
but they have to replace the customer one, or they can use both of the for the customer data. For example, if
No,
the data is already in Oracle.
customer data they have to replace. Okay, it's not like replace. What I mean to say is it will it is an external additional database. See, the import job first it will come, it will store to Cassandra, then from
Mhm.
Cassandra it will store to PostgreSQL database.
Postgre.
See,
Okay.
right now you are using PostgreSQL database. It
Yeah.
will be as usual, but in middle Cassandra database will come into picture.
Okay. In the
So that
picture. Okay.
anytime this Postgres is not working or you have some issues, database is so much data is there, then Cassandra will directly give you the data at the time. Okay, it's like an internal one more database will be added. Okay, along with what
So,
you have already. Okay,
so when you say
yes,
customer database have so many things in there, so
mm,
many, the fields, like
right.
first name, the normal one. Top of the one, there's a product information. That is
Mm.
also going to be stored in there, or
Yes,
I'm just taking
customer,
a.
everything related to customer, whatever he have, the customer products, customer data, customer decisions. Okay,
Okay.
so any external table, some other data which is for your application level that you don't need to be having in Cassandra. Only the
Okay.
customer data, customer decisions, customer products, those you keep it in
Okay.
Cassandra. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So how we do that? We'll see how to run the job,
Okay.
how the import will happen. I'll try to show you that. Okay.
And
Hi
we
Ravi.
are going to be develop this one, the tables and stuff in there in Cassandra, or somebody
Yeah,
else, the DBA.
just simple table I'll create with few columns.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about the real time scenario. When
Real time
is
you are going to create.
great. Okay.
Yes. Okay, we have to create the tables in Cassandra database in real time.
Cassandra. Okay.
Then you have to run the job. Okay, which is nothing but
Okay.
data flow only in Pega. It is data flow. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Fine.
Ravi,
So.
mostly applications you can see they have been used
Mm,
means like Oracle, Ingress, IBX, or Postgre. But here for
right.
Pega decisioning specifically, they are meant for Cassandra DB. You said 2 points: scalability and availability. Availability, I came to know, yeah, 99.9. But coming to the scalability thing, what exactly it is providing, so that Pega is suggesting that we'll go with Cassandra DB rather
So
using Oracle.
scalability here is nothing but read operation will be faster compared to your other databases, traditional databases. Retrieval will be faster without any issues. See, in traditional database, if you have 1 million, 10 million, it will take some time. Definitely, it will not open immediately. Also, sometimes it can get crashed also because you are trying to retrieve 1 million. You are trying to send offers to 1 million people or 10 lakhs people. You are trying to send an email. It is not as easy when you use old databases. Okay, so that is replaced with Cassandra at the time. So
Okay.
when I say scalability, that is mainly on read operation when you're trying to retrieve the data. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it supports SQL language also, right?
No, Cassandra is no SQL. It's not
No
SQL
SQL.
language. It's no SQL. There is no SQL in Cassandra. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is it is it I?
we'll come to see how to configure, how to insert and all that. We'll see that.
Okay.
Yeah. So finally the next prerequisite. See, all these are something that are preparation of your environment. First thing is to enable the services, classify the services, verify whether services are running normally or not using the Cassandra, internal or external. Then the third requirement is identify the customer database. Okay, so let me just fill it in the notepad. So what we are doing here, we are doing marketing. Okay, we are doing marketing or promotion, effective promotion, I can say effective promotion. So in order to do marketing, we need to know to whom you are promoting, right? To whom you are promoting, who is your audience. So that audience, you call it as context in Pega decisioning. Context means the type of audience. Context means the type of audience. So for example, you can promote to, like I told you right in first session also, to the existing customers. You are already an existing customer. You are promoting to that. So this is one type of context. Context one. You can also promote to, let us say, some non-customers. Okay, for example, there is some person. He is not a bank account. He is not having bank account. Still, you can promote to him. How you can promote? Like I told you, advertising. You do advertising, then you can promote to that person using advertising. So again, this is also another context. So the context means type of audience. In this context, you can have multiple contexts. For example, I'll just give you examples of context here. For example, one context is your existing bank customers. Second type of context is, for example, uh, people who followed your bank, uh, let's say, profile on Facebook. There are some people, they followed your bank profile, they become your followers on Facebook. They are also one type of customers. Or for example, people who downloaded your bank app on Play Store. So these also one type of customers. So all these are nothing but called as contexts. Okay, they are called as context. So this is context one, context two, context three. So again, you can have multiple contexts. So you have to decide who is your primary context, who is your secondary context, and what is your associated context. For any application, you can have n number of contexts, right? You can have 10 type of audience, 20 type of audience also you can have. It's up to you how many you want to promote. But there will be only one primary context. This is the main targeted audience. Okay, this is the main targeted audience. Secondary context is, or you can say like secondary audience, not targeting right now, but you will target these people later at a later point of time, or these are having secondary importance, not main importance. Okay, there will be only one primary context, but there will be multiple secondary context. Okay, you have 10 contexts are there. Okay, 10 contexts are there. One primary context will be there, and remaining all are secondary context. Then what is associated context? Associated context means the products or the services associated with the context. That is nothing but associated context. For example, let us take the example covering this. Okay, let us take the example here. I'm taking a bank application. For a bank application, let us assume primary context is my existing customers. Okay, for example, one customer is having a bank account. We want to promote some personal loan to the customer. So existing customers is my primary context. Let us say secondary context is there. Secondary context, let us say leads. Leads means, let us say, people who inquired for personal loan or FD or something. Okay, these are the leads. So this is the secondary context. Now let us say third context is associated context, which will be there for every context. There will be associated context. Okay, that means you can say like this: secondary context, or you can say secondary context one. Okay, then you have here also associated context. So let us say here associated context is existing customer. I told maybe the credit card or debit card information hold by the customers, hold by the existing customers, because every customer will have debit card at least minimum Credit card he might or he might not have, but debit card will be there. So what is the debit card information, when it is expiring? All this information is called as associated context. So here maybe associated context is a product they have inquired. Okay, like they inquired personal loan, when did they inquire, why did they inquire, all these things. So like this. So like this, you will have your three contexts here: primary context, secondary context, and associated context. For example, like this. So like this, you can have n number of secondary contexts, but primary context will always be one. And every single context will have associated context. Associated context means the data that they are having, like the product information, service information, like that. Okay, understood this point? Primary context, secondary context. Context is nothing but audience. Okay, the audience that you are promoting. Okay, for which audience you are promoting, that is called as context. That's it. You don't think much about that. Context is nothing but audience. You will have primary, secondary, and associated context. Now here what is the primary key? So we have to identify the primary key of this. For example, you are promoting to this person, you have to retrieve this customer, right? How will you retrieve? Using primary key. So for example, in primary context, customers, right? So customer ID is the primary key. In secondary context, I want to retrieve the customer data. So let us say lead ID. Lead is the secondary context. So lead ID is the primary key. Okay, I'll just write it here only. Okay, key here is what? Key here is what? Customer ID. So key here is what? In order to retrieve the lead data, we need the lead ID. So here, first context we are having primary key as customer ID. Second context we are having primary key as lead ID. Maybe here, in order to retrieve the social media follower details, maybe you have something like social media ID or something. So the name is different in every single context. So generically, the name is given as subject ID. Okay. See, we can't say customer ID. For example, if you are calling customer ID as a primary key, then this will not make sense. Secondary context will not make sense. So generic name for primary key of a context is called as subject ID, and subject is nothing but context. Okay, subject is nothing but the context. Subject type is nothing but the context class. So that means, for example, you are taking existing customers as the primary context. In order to store somewhere, you have to create some class, right? Like ABC dash data dash customers. In that, you are keeping all the customer information. So this is nothing but called as subject type. Subject is nothing but context. Subject type is nothing but the class name, and subject ID means the primary key. So here subject ID is customer ID. Here subject ID is lead ID. Here subject ID is social media ID. And same way here subject type is this class. Subject is customers. Here the subject is leads. Okay, are you following or is it confusing? So just remember only two things for now. Context or subject means audience. Subject ID means primary key of the context. Okay, subject ID means primary key. Subject means audience. Context means audience. For any given application, there will be only one primary context and multiple secondary contexts. And every context will have associated context. Okay, understood? Clear for everyone, or is it confusing?
Mhm.
A little bit confusing, Ravi. So first primary one you said is a ABC dash data dash customer is a primary.
Yeah.
How do you define
Yes.
the in a class this one the lead ID one
Correct. Let us say
secondary
you are
context?
defining class for this also. Then
Yeah.
let us say, let us assume the class name is this ABC dash data dash
Or lead.
leads.
Okay.
Okay, just you are creating. See, if you are storing something in
Mhm.
Pega, you call it as a class, right? You connect the
Yeah.
class to the table. Okay, you connect
Yeah.
the class to the table. So this class is called subject type. Okay, this class is called subject type. Subject means the context. Subject ID means the primary key. That's it. Okay, you don't need to worry about this as we progress, right? You will only remember this thing. But for now, what you remember is context or subject means audience.
Okay.
Context ID means primary key. For an application, you have one primary context, multiple secondary context. Okay, that's what you have to remember. So let me show you why we need this thing. So if you go to the CDH, again, I'll explain you this tomorrow, how to configure context dictionary and all that. There is something called context dictionary in the App Studio where you have to define all the list of audiences before only to whom you are promoting. Okay. So if you come here in the settings, go to the App Studio, settings, context dictionary. I will explain clearly again tomorrow about context dictionary. What is context? We'll again understand. Okay. But here you have to define the primary context. Primary context means your primary audience, primary targeted audience. See, we are promoting, right? We are doing some marketing. We are sending email, we are sending SMS. So we are sending something means where is the data? Where the data is present, what is the email ID, what is the mobile number, all this you have to give to the Pega. That's what we are doing here. So here our main focus is customers. We are promoting to customers. So we have to create a class, we have to create a table, and we have to give what is their mobile number property, what is their email address property. Okay, you see here it is asking what is the email address, what is the mobile number. So for example, when you are promoting something like a internet plan, so directly you say send an offer to this customer, then it will take this email address and it will send an email. For example, you are promoting the internet plan through SMS. You will say, okay, send an offer to this customer ID, then it will take the mobile number from this property. Okay, so this you have to configure before only, so that Pega is aware to which email address we have to send the email, to which phone number we have to send the SMS. That configuration we
So,
are doing here. Okay, so I'll
so Ravi,
explain you this starting onwards tomorrow. You don't need to worry what is all these things. Okay, yeah,
You saying the subject is a customer, and
correct.
the secondary one is a lead ID is a, for example, is the
Yes. See
primary
here in
email
this
address.
case, primary context is customer.
Yeah.
Secondary context is account. Another secondary context is prospect. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. In this screen, what you are saying, this is the primary. These two are secondary. Okay.
Okay.
And every context will have associated data also. This customer is having associated data. These three are there. Accounts, join, offline, score, something. These three are there. For example, for account, associated data is not there. Nothing is configured.
Okay.
For prospect, associated data is not configured, but you can configure still. You can configure associated data for every context. You got it?
Yeah, got it now. Is a count.
Three things will be there: primary context, secondary context, associated context. Associated context is nothing but what products they are having. For example, you took a personal loan from Axis Bank. So
Yeah.
you are part of primary context, and your personal loan information is part of associated context or associated data. Okay, for a given customer, what loan he is having, when he has taken the loan, when the loan tenure is there, what is the monthly EMI, all this information will be there in the associated data. And information about you, what is your name, what is your address, when you what is your email ID, everything will be there in the primary context class. So that is how you segregate the data: primary
So what
context,
comes in like
secondary context. Yes.
what comes
Yes.
in accounts then? The loan account. Loan. How?
Yeah, for example, in the associated data you will see what is the loan ID, when the loan started, when the loan will end, what is the monthly EMI that you are paying. All this is nothing but associated data information. Got it?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, clear? See, it can be anything. Associated data means any product or service that customer is having. For example, it is debit card, credit card, anything can be associated data. Associated data means whatever the product or service the customer is having and the details about that. Okay, for example, I am using Airtel internet plan. So my information, my email, phone number, address, everything will be there in the primary context class. Then I'm using internet plan. What internet plan, how much speed, how much download speed, how much I need to pay monthly. All this information will be there in the associated context. Okay, primary context will have customer information. Associated context will have the product information that the customer is having. So of course, customer ID is the common column. Like a join, it will be like a join only. Okay, understood? It's clear. It's
Yes,
simple
Ravi.
concept only. Yes.
Accounts is also associated data, right? It is associated with the customer.
Yes, if it is
Can we
associated, you can
consider
keep it as
secondary?
no. See here, it's only demo purpose. Okay, it's not a real data. It is just a sample
Okay.
data. Okay, but in your scenario, if account is associated data, then you have to add here. Okay, you don't take this as a main configuration. It is just a dummy configuration or sample configuration they given. Okay.
So my question is, Ravi,
Suppose,
the
sorry.
Mm,
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you said. Oh, so my question is, primary is customer, associated
mm,
data is accounts, right? No, loan accounts, right? And
Right.
what comes in the secondary? The secondary we're thinking as
Secondary, see,
account.
that's what I'm telling you, right? Customer is primary context. Secondary can be
Yeah,
non-customer, right?
non-customer. Okay,
Non-customer, or social media customers. Okay. So
okay,
customer here means people who are having the bank account. You are a customer. You are using Access Bank. You are a
yeah,
customer. Some other person, your friend is not having Access Bank account, but he is
yeah,
interested. He is a
okay,
non-customer context like that. Okay. So that the difference in the audience, not the
okay.
products. Okay, just that's what you have to remember. Or you can
If
have
he's
social media
if he's a
followers.
non-customer, if he's a non-customer, then it's count as a secondary audience.
Yeah, it's one of the non-customers, one of the secondary. There can be other
Okay,
types of customers also, right? For example, people who downloaded the Axis Bank app.
yeah,
Okay, these people, they might not be customers, they might be customers also. Okay,
okay,
they downloaded the app, you want to promote to those people who downloaded the app.
hmm,
So that
okay,
is another type of context. So like that, you can have many types of contexts.
okay,
Okay, but only primary context will be the main one at a given point
okay.
of time. For example, right now you want to promote to customers, you are making this as primary context. Tomorrow
To
you
existing
want to
customer, you're
promote
saying.
to, yeah, existing customer you are promoting, you are keeping this as primary context.
Okay,
But later, at some point of time, you want to promote to people who downloaded the app, then
okay,
you have to make the secondary context as primary context by clicking on this change primary. Then you select the secondary context and you click on apply.
okay. I
Okay.
got you now. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's more clear.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so at a given point of time you have only primary, but you can have multiple secondary. But when you are promoting to the secondary audience, you have to make them as primary and then you have to promote. Okay, I think we are out of time still, but we are discussing. Anyways, we will repeat the same thing tomorrow, and we will continue the discussion and the implementation tomorrow. Just theoretically, you understand what is context, primary context, secondary context, associated context. Tomorrow, practically, we will see. Okay. All right. See you soon. We will connect tomorrow, same time.